unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports President Donald Trump on Wednesday ordered his administration to deploy National Guard members to the southwest border to assist Border Patrol agents with curbing undocumented immigration. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen said during the daily White House briefing, "It's time to act," adding that plans were being finalized. A senior administration official told reporters later Wednesday that this is all happening very rapidly and the White House expects troops to be at the border very soon. Officials did not say how many troops the National Guard would send. President Barack Obama sent 1,200 troops in 2010, and President George W. Bush sent 6,200 to the border in 2006 as part of Operation Jumpstart. Administration officials said they anticipate a significant uptick of illegal border crossing attempts in the spring and summer months, despite the fact that those crossings had declined since Trump's election. Nielsen's announcement came one day after Trump said he wanted the U.S. military to guard the border. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports teachers from across Oklahoma walked off the job for a third consecutive day on Wednesday, repeating their demands for higher pay and more spending on education. The Oklahoma Department of Public Safety officials said hundreds of teachers from dozens of districts, as well as parents and students, had packed the state capitol in Oklahoma City by mid-morning. They want lawmakers to pass a tax package that would raise another $200 million for schools. Oklahoma City resident Ashley Morris said by telephone from the rally, "My books were old when I was in high school more than 15 years ago, and chances are a lot of them are still being used today. Students just aren't getting what they need or deserve, and that puts teachers in a tough situation," adding that her roommate is a first-grade teacher who relies on a second job to pay her bills. The walkouts follow a 2-week job action in West Virginia that prompted lawmakers to raise teachers' pay. Educators in Kentucky also demonstrated against years of stagnant or reduced budgets by a Republican-controlled legislature. Teachers in Arizona have threatened similar job actions. The state's two largest school districts, Oklahoma City and Tulsa, said classes would be canceled on Thursday as well. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
It's the Onion Radio News. A spokeswoman gives birth to a spokeschild. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Tacoma spokeswoman Tammy Barker became the proud mother of a bouncing baby spokeschild last night. According to spokespeople, Barker, a spokeswoman for a Tacoma-based pharmaceutical firm, the birthing process was a major success. Peter Wahlberg, spokesman for Tammy's husband Phil, had this to say.
At 9:17 p.m. last night, an 8.5-month-old spokes fetus was delivered alive, and through the miracle of birth became a 7-pound, 6-ounce spokes child. Spokes father and spokes mother are doing fine.
Spokeswoman Barker is expected to be released from St. Robert's Hospital tomorrow. The spokes child will remain in the hospital's media care unit for several weeks of training. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Computers are online. I'm gonna start loading software.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Call to Freedom.
Broadcasting live from Verdcoin Studios on LRN FM.
You're listening to Will.
You will listen to every damn word I have to say.
And Aria.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
Stay tuned for political talk and everything crypto. That's right.
Broadcasting internationally on our BitPlus network satellite.
This is
The Call to Freedom.
All right, let's boot it up.
That's right. Welcome here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Slowly on the downward end of the week here on this Thursday afternoon. We are broadcasting live, of course, from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, it's an interesting day for the news, interesting day for me. I'm joined today by a classic crew. We've got Tom Gray in the house, along with Aria Demezio, the Queen of Crypto herself. And, well, we've got Chelsea Snyder, an employee of the King of Libertarian Drama himself, over there at the Vora Method. Let's see here, blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, how you guys doing tonight?
Man, we're just loaded down with libertarian drama this week, aren't we?
I'm doing pretty swell.
I'm doing a lot better than I have been for the rest of the week because I finally got well enough to go to the gym. And
good.
Man, I need that.
5 days, just like I said, wasn't it? 5 days.
Man, it's bad when I don't get my workout in. The whole ADD thing just completely shuts down my brain, and I turn into a rambling mess. Not that our listeners can tell the difference, but I can.
Yeah. I believe that. That makes sense. I feel the same way usually.
So, you guys already talked, apparently, about the fact that our president is attempting to violate the Posse Comitatus Act, thereby cutting off my ability to say the phrase Posse Comitatus as often as humanly possible on the air.
Or can I? Most tragic part of his
Posse Comitatus.
Well, we covered an article yesterday where someone made an argument for how Trump could legally build the wall and force Mexico to pay for it. And basically they explained about how that could be done via trade sanctions, basically.
Yeah, at the same time that the same source was writing about how, trade wars with China were killing the farmers.
Yeah. He's like, trade wars with China are killing the farmers. No, that was a different article.
Yeah, but the same source.
Yeah, The Hill.
Well, yeah, there is a big difference, though, between the president could do this legally and this would be a good idea.
Oh no, they were advocating for the wall.
Oh, well, then he's a dumb SOB and he needs to check himself.
She, firstly, it was a she, and she actually had 3 different
dumb
ideas.
DOB, then.
Right.
Daughter of a what?
Or how about just DB?
Nice.
Yeah,
I get it. Right? I get it. Because
anyway.
the D stands for dumb and the B stands for a dirty word.
Dirty.
Oh, I thought he said DP.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Right. Oh, Lord. Anyway,
I get that one because the D stands for double and the P stands for sexy.
No, Tom. Go back to the gym. Go back to the gym, Tom. You didn't spend enough time there today.
Right. You haven't worked out the toxins. Blugga. So she came up actually with 3 ideas for how this could be done and done legally. And somewhere in there, she made an argument for how it would be okay to use the National Guard. That there's some way that using the National Guard is legal.
Well, the way that it would become legal is if you sent them down there and then they never did anything. I mean,
her argument was more of a national security issue because of the fact that the cartels had killed like 20,000 people in the last 5 years or something like that, and that was that could be construed as a danger, and because of the authorization given in the World is a War Zone Act, basically, he could use not just the National Guard, he could straight up just invade Mexico on the pretense that cartels are terrorist groups.
It is actually more legal. I hate to say this. And remember a minute ago when I said that just because something's legal doesn't mean it's not a completely horrible idea that nobody would advocate? Well, it's probably more legal to use the National Guard to invade Mexico than it is to deploy them along the border on civilian land.
Yeah.
Because of the Posse Comitatus Act, which says you can't use the military to enforce domestic laws, which, by the way, newsflash,
immigration laws are domestic laws.
Not only are they domestic laws, they're civil laws. It would be like using the military to enforce like
a lawsuit.
Yeah, exactly. You can't do this.
Big Tobacco didn't pay their stipend they were supposed to pay this month, so we're gonna send in the drones.
I don't know. It would probably be more legal to use the drones than to use actual people because,
don't give them ideas.
Well, no, he's already said.
Oh, I'm sure they've had that.
Yeah. The problem is the Department of Homeland Security tried drone enforcement already, and it didn't work, and it cost millions of dollars to implement. And they released like a case study or something like they used them for a while. And it was so ineffective that they wrote about how horribly ineffective they were. And Trump is like, but it looks like I'm doing something. So I don't care if it works. Because politics in America, it's about theater now, man. The anti-Sharia bills, that's all the proof that you really need. Is stuff like anti-Sharia bills or the state of Florida during the cast lead bombing in Israel. The state of Florida passing a foreign policy bill.
Wait, what? I didn't hear about that.
Oh my God! It was like 2000 and it was either 2000 and like January 2009, or if it wasn't cast lead, then it was Operation Enduring
Freedom.
No, something Edge. Anyway, they were in Israeli bombing campaigns against the open air prison that is Gaza. And during the course of all that, I totally lost where I was going.
Something about Florida passing a law.
So during the course of all that, the Florida House and Senate get together and unanimously pass a Solidarity with Israel Act. Affirming the solidarity of the state of Israel, of the state of Florida with the state of Israel.
So it's like legalized virtue signaling.
Yes. No. Taxpayer funded legal virtue signaling. Because you paid them, like, if you're a Florida taxpayer, you own property or buy gasoline in Florida, you paid for that, and it literally means nothing. Nothing at all. I wasn't even sure if it's even legal. But it didn't stop them from wasting taxpayer time and money on it, because looking like you're doing something in the modern political context is quite often more important than actually doing something.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nesquik. Try Nesquik 4-packs, perfect for lunches and great for kids on the go. Look for it in the juice aisle. Snack time is a great chance to sneak extra calcium into your child's diet without making him feel like he's eating something he doesn't want. Serve up dairy-rich foods like smoothies, flavored milk, frozen yogurt, and string cheese. He'll love the treat, and you'll love knowing how good it is for him. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Welcome back into the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vert Coin Studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is coming up again around that time for you to have an opportunity to come and visit with us up here. And you know what? If something happens, you end up needing your brakes done or we got you back, man. You get your car fixed with crypto. We'll take you over, we'll get you some Indian food or a cheeseburger or some take and bake pizza. We'll keep you hooked up, man. I think they're going tomorrow to some taco joint like a half hour from here that takes crypto too. Because crypto accepting businesses aren't just in Keene; they're all over the place. And with the summer coming, there will be more of them because you'll have food trucks that are all over town that also accept crypto. So come up this June, join liberty-minded folks, voluntarists, anarchists, activists, and libertarians this summer from June the 14th through June the 18th for Fork Fest 2018 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. Fork Fest is a fork of other camping parties in the woods, and you're invited to come create whatever experience that you would like others to have. Fork Fest is decentralized. That means nobody's in charge, so everyone's in charge. It's up to you to create what happens. Or, you know what? Just grab a cooler and a lawn chair and sit back, relax, and hang out with some good liberty-loving folks in the woods. If you want to learn more, go to Fork Fest. That's F-O-R-K, forkfest.party. While you're there, join the forum or the Telegram chat group, and hopefully we'll see you there. Again, that's forkfest.party. Come on out to Forkfest 18 and hang out with tons of LRN radio hosts that will be there. There'll be at least 2 from our show. And I don't know, 2 or 3 from most of the other shows. So come out and hang out with us for a little while. Now, the first story we're going to get into, this is a story from Reason.com, and it is, well, you know, I've been kind of in the midst of the fallout from, you know, what's happening at universities right now. I mean, yesterday we were speaking about how college, everyone is more miserable, according to these indexes, more miserable than they've ever been in the history of college. And I think I may have scratched a little bit and figured out possibly why, or at least a little bit of why. From Reason, it says here, students watched an art professor's experimental film. Then they accused him of sexual harassment.
Oh, my God.
Yes. Saul Levine, a professor at the Massachusetts College of Art and Design, claims that administrators are forcing him into early retirement for showing an experimental film. When Levine screened his 1989 film, Notes After a Long Silence, for a class, some students complained that it was too sexually explicit. College officials then met with Levine, a meeting he described as a complete ambush in a lengthy Facebook post. The people in that room all agreed that I'd committed sexual harassment by showing my class the film, said Levine. Neither Levine nor college officials immediately responded to a request for comment. Mass Art President, so this is the Massachusetts University of Art. Mass Art President David Nelson declined to answer the Boston Globe's specific questions about Levine, citing employee confidentiality requirements. The Globe notes that the film contains, quote, images of Levine naked and having sex with his partner. This raised the ire of at least one former student.
Whoa.
Kim Keown.
That seems a bit much.
Whoa.
Kim Keown, a former mass art student who said she first saw the film years ago with no warning about its graphic content, said cautionary notice is the critical issue. Saul has bullied and abused other faculty and staff at Mass Art for years, says Keown, who now works as a studio manager in the school's film area. I have nothing against the film or this kind of artwork being made or shown, but with no warning, it can make somebody uncomfortable and unsafe.
No, not the same thing.
Okay. I was his
Not the same
student.
thing.
Yeah.
I was his student, and I did not speak out. If I had back then, I would have been ridiculed. And if you really, honest to God, should be now.
You know, I can see why it would be awkward to be in college and then suddenly there's an old dude having, you know, gay sex on the television.
Well, wait. First of all, it's not an old dude. This is a video that was made in 1989. So at the time, old dude was a young dude. College,
but he's old now.
He's old now.
And he's standing right in front of you. In front of you.
Only one problem with that, guys. The author watched the entire film. It's 18 minutes long. There's a link in the article. It's a very disorienting piece of art, and it does include several brief shots of two people having sex. It's absolutely impossible to tell who the people are. The camera is zoomed in too close for that. There's also a lingering shot.
Oh, you say that like that makes it better.
It does not make it better.
There's also a lingering shot of a young girl in her underwear, though I gather the film is trying to make a point there about exploitation. The claim that the film shows Levine himself naked, engaged in sexual intercourse is false, according to two people who wrote letters to the Globe, quote, "At no point do we see the filmmaker on screen as a person having sex," according to Gerald Peary, a retired film professor. 1 million mainstream Hollywood films, which anyone could screen in a class without a thought, have infinitely more sexual content than this little film. So it's much ado about nothing, which is the truth of most of these things. But mainstream Hollywood films are not subject to Title IX, the federal statute mandating gender equality in education, which often functions as a weapon in the arsenal of easily offended students. MassArt is already investigating one professor, the photographer Nicholas Nixon, for violating Title IX, which might have rendered administrators extra sensitive to complaints of inappropriate sexual behavior. Commenters on Levine's Facebook page had nothing but praise for the professor. One quote, "This is a devastating indictment of the mentality of MassArt's administration. It seems to me that if you enroll in a prestigious art college and sign up for a class that's known to be taught by an avant-garde artist who makes bizarre experimental films, you don't really have much room to complain about some brief, blurry nudity. Levine's situation is a timely reminder of the threat to free speech posed by both Title IX bureaucracy and the new hypersensitive student of the modern era." Do you have an opinion on this? Do you think college campuses have become incubators for crybabies and need to be reformed in some way or just gotten rid of altogether?
Yes.
Let us know. Give us a call here at 603-283-6160, or you can hit us at Discord, discord.lrn.fm, or at the call-in line at lrn.fm. We'll be right back with more here on The Call to Freedom.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. An unpopular police officer thinks about committing a racially motivated offense for a little support. A middle-aged man is having the best snacks of his life, and a housefly drops everything to go stand on a watermelon slice. This is the Onion Week in Review. Noting the youth center's ping pong table and array of DVDs and Blu-rays, local youth minister Mark Kindler told reporters this week that his church's new rec room has everything a teen could want. The youth pastor revealed that the basement facility's many teen-friendly amenities include a new Wii U console, an iPod dock for the teens to play any music they like, and some comfortable recliners for those who just want to relax or do their homework after school.
We've really gone out of our way to give the rec room a laid-back atmosphere. It's stocked with snacks, but sometimes at the end of the week, we'll spring for some pizza. Honestly, I wish I had a place like this when I was their age.
In other news, increased violence leads the State Department to issue an advisory for Americans traveling to 1861, and an elderly lobbyist is always droning on about how little legislation used to cost in his day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM.
Oh, well, okay.
What's up?
So
it looks like something a serial killer made.
Yeah, so in the interest of journalism, I am watching the actual short film from this article we've been reading from Reason. The name of the film is Notes After Long Silence, made by filmmaker Saul Levine. So I'm watching it right now, and the whoa, oh, there it is. That was when it got to the part where he's doing some woman doggy style. And there is no obscuring what it is, although it is interspliced with footage of somebody eating dumplings with chopsticks and B.B. King playing guitar.
Yeah, that's what I meant. You know, it looks like something a serial killer made.
No, not so far, because it's just a butt moving back and forth in a telltale fashion.
Yeah. So you don't even know what it could be.
Not yet, but I'm only like 2 minutes and 40 seconds into the film.
Oh Lord.
So when I get to anything that's more explicit, I'll break in. But I know both Aria and Chelsea had actual thoughts. I wanted to make sure that I saw the film before I opined on the film.
I wanted just like this letter that came from his name is Gerald Peary. Cambridge. He is a writer, a film critic, and a retired film professor from Suffolk University. And he opens with, "Do the folks at Mass Art know that it's an art school?" Did anyone actually watch the 1989 film Notes After Long Silence, the subject of Malcolm Gay's April 1st Globe article, quote, "Film showed to Mass Art leads to professor's departure"? I would contend that no administrator...
Wait, was this guy actually kicked out?
Yes. I would contend that no administrator at the Massachusetts College of Art and Design could have seen it, or they wouldn't reportedly have called in Professor Saul Levine and accused him of sexual harassment. I've watched the film, readily available online. It's a montage with many cuts and of all kinds of random footage thrown together, including that of Gerald Ford, B.B. King, the Vietnam War, a woman with her children. It's
terrible.
In between are occasional shots of human body parts so herky-jerky, abstract, and quick on screen that you can barely grasp that there's something sexual going on.
That's just not true. You can totally tell what it is.
Very important. At no point do we see the filmmaker on screen as a person having sex. There's no sexual harassment or even the slightest thing inappropriate in presenting this film in a college course.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's like you really cannot have it both ways, right? This whole push to move modern art into this realm where we're pushing boundaries and we're making things hypersexual and we're, showing naked men and women and we're doing all these things. Like if that's art, then this is also art. And if this is not art, then none of the rest of that is art, but you can't have it both ways, right?
There's just a list. They have a list of letters from people who are they're art professors. They're people that they teach film classes exactly like this, and either they themselves show or would show the film in their class, and all of them are like, this is nothing. Like, have any of you ever seen any of the avant-garde films that Jim Morrison made in the 60s when he was in film college? They make the like what you guys are describing, they make this seem tame.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in college, I went to performances that were just like naked women just walking around on stage and performing. Like that's just, it's not like it's
yeah.
No. Yeah.
Somehow this film excluded people. According to Aria, read the law again for us. What's Title IX say? That's what he's been charged with.
Well, I wasn't the one who pulled it up. It says some stupid crap about some stupid crap.
Yeah, I can read it for you.
Go ahead, read it for us.
It says, no person in the United States shall, on the basis of sex, be excluded from participation in, be denied the benefits of, or be subjected to discrimination under. Go ahead. Yeah?
Because on the basis of sex, they are trying to fire him.
So aren't they themselves in violation of this statute?
No, I don't.
I mean,
think
it's literally because
of
sex that they are fighting. Yeah, but that's sex.
Well, they're talking about sex as in, not the act.
I know, but if they want to split if they want to, dissect the wording to the point that, showing people a film is sexual harassment, then we can play that game too.
Well, and also, if we're going to, define gender in so many different ways and cut it all apart based on some of the sexual acts that you perform or do whatever, then yeah.
Is the mass university, without using the word, suggesting that there are genders?
No. Not genders, Will. Oh my God.
No, not genders. Oh my God.
Well, this film definitely suggests genders because there's a lot of B.B. King in this film, and that guy was more masculine than just about anyone else in the history of mankind.
Right.
So
I'm loving reading these letters, though. Let's see here. I would not bring it in. See, in my view, Malcolm Gay's characterization of Saul Levine's film in Gay's recent article about Levine's position at Mass Art makes one wonder whether Gay actually viewed the film, though one would expect that he did. Levine is a major figure in the American underground film movement. A serious viewing of the film in questions would not bring an informed viewer of visual art to the conclusion that the film is either graphic in a sexual sense or its complex musicality can be reduced to a description of image of Levine naked and having sex with his partner. The public, which is deprived of knowledgeable writing about this experimental film, deserve to be informed about such matters by someone who can help create understanding rather than reduce a serious discussion to the lowest common denominator. Janice Crystal Lipson, former chair of the San Francisco Art Institute Film Department and former director of the Antioch College of Film and Photography. So,
Tom, how's the viewing going?
I think if there is one thing you could say about it is that it's questionable whether this is art or not.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta
I think I understand.
Go watch some of go watch the movie The Doors, because they show footage of one of those films that he did, and go watch a Jim Morrison film that he made in the 60s or the late 50s, and see they're insanely sexual and graphic. But
let me spend a Friday night watching Fox.
It's the and it was the 50s and the early 60s. Okay, it's 2017. 18. Have we 18? Have we regressed? Is that what's happened? Has society regressed since
yes.
the Trump election? Have we moved
and also before
that far backwards this quickly?
We're back to 1950 sexual standards.
Right? For real, are we now back to pre-1950 sexual standards? That kind of
okay. Yeah, there's definitely naked man abs in this part of the film.
Oh my gosh, abs. That's terrible.
Abs might be being generous. I mean, he's got abs in the sense that I have abs, but it's definitely like in the lower guttal region.
So it's a shirtless dude.
There has not been a weenie. There have been no weenies so far.
So no full frontal nudity.
In fact, there's been no meow meows either. So no weenies, no meow meows, just a butt.
Yeah.
I mean, there's full frontal nudity in the Disney movies The Rescuers, and it didn't traumatize us.
Right?
Well, I don't know. Judging by some of the stuff we do on this show, we've been traumatized somehow. By something somewhere. Let's not rule it out.
All right. So, yeah. Do you think college campuses are too easy on kids? Do you think this man was fired unfairly? Give us a...
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it.
Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. It's Bitcoin.com.
A congressman recently revealed that legislation totaling 2,900 pages and involving more than $1 trillion was available to members of Congress for less than 48 hours to study and consider. That's over 60 pages of legislation per hour. Do you think anyone read the entire bill? I'm Jim Babka with DownsizeDC.org. Consider a proposal buried in a 3,200-page, $388 billion bill, which would have empowered committee chairmen or their agents to examine Americans' tax returns. When this horrible provision came to light, no one claimed to know how it got into the bill. One congressman questioned said, "I didn't write it, I didn't approve it, I wasn't even consulted." If your attorney represented you this way, he might be disbarred. But this is how Congress represents you every day. That's why DownsizeDC.org has created the Read the Bills Act. You can force Congress to read their bills before they pass them at DownsizeDC.org.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom live on LRN.FM. تستمعون إلى نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
That's so disgusting. We'll be fine. Let's party.
All right. And welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. Ooh, boy. We are broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. We've been talking about this poor guy, university, not too far from here, the Massachusetts University of Art and Design, where this guy, he's been an avant-garde filmmaker since the 80s and is a university professor. And because, stuff that would have been passé and uncontroversial in the 60s in an avant-garde film class suddenly has students triggered so badly that they're filing Title IX complaints against him and cost him his job. So, what we want to know from you is, what do you think about what's going on college campuses all over the country? Do you think that they are being taken over by crybabies that can't handle life? Do you think that's been taught to our kids? Do you disagree? We want to know. Give us a call, 603-283-6160. That's 603-283-6160. Or you can hit us at our Discord line at discord.lrn.fm. Oops. And also, or on the LRN.FM Skype line. So getting back to the story, we're also joined today by the classic crew. We've got Mr. Tom Gray from the mountains of East Tennessee, and Aria DiMezio from down there in Mississippi. And then we've also got from Maryland, Chelsea Snyder from the Vora Method. So, Tom, are you done with it yet?
Yeah. There never was a weenie. Toward the end, there was a much clearer.
My evening.
Toward the end, well, not completely. Toward the end, there was a much clearer shot of the young woman who was involved in the intercourse, bent over and moving back and forth and smiling. You finally saw her face toward the end, but you never see the man involved, and you see a butt, but there's no other parts that could be considered generally private. There's no breasts, there's no weenie, there's no female parts, and the film itself is just kind of a cacophony of imagery and sound, and I think sound was the main thing about the film. There's no sound in the parts where there's sex going on, but there's interspliced sound from other things. There's probably some artistic reason for that. I don't want to get into that on the air, but honestly, even trying to apply the most left-wing offended lens that I can conjure up, I cannot see how the film by itself could form the basis for a Title IX complaint.
Especially not in a film class.
In any context, honestly. And I'm trying to look at this as a lawyer, like, how would I turn this into a Title IX complaint? It's not there. Like, you couldn't even say that it's portraying female subjugation. There's not even that angle. There's not an abuse type angle. There's not a violence toward women angle in here. It's just the only sex that's on the film is just straight up consensual doggy style intercourse, and everybody seems to be consenting and having a pretty good time while doing it. So either there's more to this story or somebody at the college is full of crap. It's one or the other. And
the students said they were offended, and that's all the administration needed to hear.
Basically,
it should be more. If there's not more than that, then someone at the college is risking. This is way beyond just a proactive firing situation. I mean, does he have priors or something?
Well, if they didn't do it, they would have been, ostracized on social media by that crowd that wears vagina hats and that is currently targeting our host, Will Coley.
Yep.
I mean, that's what they do.
So
if you don't cave into their demands.
So this is interesting. Supposedly, the guy himself said that he was fired following anonymous complaints from students. But David Nelson, the president of the Massachusetts College of Art and Design, commented on the situation to Art Forum. Professor Levine remains employed at Mass Art and is expected to continue through the semester. As an art and design college, academic freedom and creative expression are essential to Mass Art's mission. We believe that freedom and creativity thrive on a campus where students, faculty, and staff respect the dignity of one another and practice collegiality.
So the Boston Globe, everything they printed about the story was wrong.
But it's coming straight from Levine. Levine is the one who says he was ousted.
Well, Levine says that he was forced to retire. So finishing out the rest of this year.
And
or is he the one playing the victim card?
Well,
he's claiming that he was quote unquote forced to leave. The college is reporting that he's just leaving. I mean, I'm not.
Well, I really doubt the college would go, yeah, he was a jerk, and we told him this was his last year because he showed some students
you don't want to be a college of art that when the Boston Globe calls you on being a college of art and kicking out a film teacher going, yeah, we totally did that. Because next year, guess what you won't have?
Well, here's a quote from Levine himself says, during the meeting that they told him they couldn't do anything about the complaints because they were anonymous.
They were a what?
So,
Tom, is that correct?
This is a quote from this article is from IndieWire, and they're quoting Levine himself in his Facebook
Live
video.
I get that, but I'm saying, is that a valid point? If a complaint is made against you anonymously, that doesn't make it unenforceable, does it?
It doesn't, but I'm saying that Levine himself says that his understanding was they couldn't do anything about it. So what's his beef? I think it's
he said
what
that
seems
they
to
came
have happened.
to him in his office, and it was like a hijacking.
It does kind of sound like maybe this guy was just throwing a bit of a temper tantrum, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm wondering if he's the triggered one, because he talks about they showed up and beat up on him for an hour, but it may very well have just been peers trying to discuss things with him, and here he is referring to them as thugs, buffoons, secret policemen who were attacking me as an artist, an educational professional, and a programmer.
Yeah, but still, at the same time, to be fair, the students themselves, whoever submitted that anonymous complaint, is still also triggered.
Douchebag.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that there's multi-layer douchebaggery going around here.
Isn't it?
Yeah, and the sad thing is that there is no way for us to find out the truth.
Exactly.
Of course.
Closed door meetings.
I mean, they're all lying, and they're all trying to push an agenda.
I understand after watching the film, by the way, the actual value of the film if you're teaching a class on technique, because he uses a lot of interesting technique. I don't know that what's on the film necessarily matches what he was supposedly trying to get across, which was supposedly an anti-war message. I mean, there are some interspliced videos of troops invading the beaches of Normandy and stuff like that.
Reminds me of Cartman.
Yeah. I think this was pre-Cartman, but Cartman may as well have been put in there for all of the mishmash. Anyway, I think that in another segment we may have awarded some wah for this, and I think it would have gone to all sides.
Oh, yeah, right? Everybody gets a little wah for that one. I wish I could find a copy of the film that they show in the movie about Jim Morrison, where they actually show one of his avant-garde college films so that you could see it. I'm looking at some scenes from his movie Highway. I mean, and it starts off with a naked guy with everything hanging right out there for you. So,
great.
Yeah. So,
I'll pass.
Yeah, Jim Morrison was over the top. There's Florida University toward a greater university. Yeah, he made a film at FSU in 1964. So, and it's odd, but it's definitely it's way worse than what this poor guy got fired for. We'll be back with Crypto Anna in just a minute.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene, the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, April 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.27 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,327 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,696. Antiwar.com reports President Trump is still very clear that he wants U.S. troops out of Syria and has even ordered commanders to quickly wrap up military operations in the country. It doesn't seem to be happening, however, as White House officials have been feverishly backpedaling from the president's comments. President Trump was said to have been pushing for a withdrawal for months behind the scenes, and comments over the past week seemingly made that formal policy. Though Trump advisors are said to have drawn up plans for a pullout, they proposed an alternative plan to Trump where they don't have to leave at all. Indications from the White House are that Trump isn't getting his way and that instead the U.S. is going to just stay in Syria to eliminate the small the Islamic State presence that yet remains. Since the U.S. has not been fighting the Islamic State on the ground in quite some time, there's no timetable for that. Administration officials seem to be eager to present this as something short of overruling Trump, which legally they can't actually do. Still, without the timetable, it's a distinction without much of a difference, and the troops are just stuck in Syria. It could be for quite some time, too, as the idea of totally eliminating the Islamic State isn't particularly realistic on any timescale. The group's fighters have mostly fled into the desert and spread out since the loss of their territory, and there will likely always be a case to be made that some of the fighters are left. That means that while presenting this as a minor hitch in Trump's pullout, it could effectively be presented as defaulting back to the old position of the Pentagon that the troops in Syria are there in an open-ended way.
Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports President Donald Trump on Wednesday ordered his administration to deploy National Guard members to the southwest border to assist Border Patrol agents with curbing undocumented immigration. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen said during the daily White House briefing, "It's time to act," adding that plans were being finalized. A senior administration official told reporters later Wednesday that this is all happening very rapidly and the White House expects troops to be at the border very soon. Officials did not say how many troops the National Guard would send. President Barack Obama sent 1,200 troops in 2010, and President George W. Bush sent 6,200 to the border in 2006 as part of Operation Jumpstart. Administration officials said they anticipate a significant uptick of illegal border crossing attempts in the spring and summer months, despite the fact that those crossings had declined since Trump's election. Nielsen's announcement came one day after Trump said he wanted the U.S. military to guard the border. For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co.
Reuters reports teachers from across Oklahoma walked off the job for a third consecutive day on Wednesday, repeating their demands for higher pay and more spending on education. The Oklahoma Department of Public Safety officials said hundreds of teachers from dozens of districts, as well as parents and students, had packed the state capitol in Oklahoma City by mid-morning. They want lawmakers to pass a tax package that would raise another $200 million for schools. Oklahoma City resident Ashley Morris said by telephone from the rally, "My books were old when I was in high school more than 15 years ago, and chances are a lot of them are still being used today. Students just aren't getting what they need or deserve, and that puts teachers in a tough situation," adding that her roommate is a first-grade teacher who relies on a second job to pay her bills. The walkouts follow a 2-week job action in West Virginia that prompted lawmakers to raise teachers' pay. Educators in Kentucky also demonstrated against years of stagnant or reduced budgets by a Republican-controlled legislature. Teachers in Arizona have threatened similar job actions. The state's two largest school districts, Oklahoma City and Tulsa, said classes would be canceled on Thursday as well. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Captain Actual America is overweight and hopelessly in debt, and the Richie Rich comic strip introduces a new, even gayer character. As if you needed another reason to remain in your isolated and socially degenerative cocoon, this is the Onion Week in Review, Comics Edition. Sources confirmed Tuesday that the Comic Book and Sci-Fi Expo Comic-Con was once again marred by BullyCon, an increasingly popular event held in the same convention space. Now in its 5th year, BullyCon reportedly drew more than 125,000 tormentors from across the nation, all of whom were bent on beating up and torturing those attending the many comic book, television, and movie panels at Comic-Con.
When this got started, it was just a couple of friends who wanted to beat the As some Joss Whedon fans, but now there are thousands of us ruining Walking Dead panels, taunting Harry Potter nerds, and really making some video gamers' lives completely miserable. I don't necessarily need to travel to San Diego to slap a copy of Spider-Man out of some pussy's hands, but something really special about coming together with people who dig the same sort of cruelty you do.
The Call to Freedom is an opinion show. It's meant for informational purposes only. It is not licensed financial advice. It is very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with or independently research and verify any information that you hear from the Call of Freedom and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise. I mean, come on, guys. Duh. It's a cryptocurrency investment and a political talk radio. Of course, it's opinions.
Hold. Hold. Hold.
You better hold on for dear life, because it's time for the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com on the Call to Freedom.
That's right. It's time for the Crypto Hour here on the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. And so we've got a couple of stories put up together here. You remember when I was talking a few days ago about good news from Verge? Well, today is another day. And this has kind of been par for the course for Verge. You've had good news, and then okay news, and then not so good news, and then mix in a little bit of FUD, and and I mean the coin has continued. It's not gone back down to where I originally bought it at, but it's not doing great. It's down to around a nickel now, from 7 cents when we discussed a couple days ago their new some kind of a business deal that they've worked out with somebody that's supposed to be really big, but not released the name yet. And on the boost of that, the coin was able to go from 3 cents to 7 cents. But in the last couple of days, there have been some changes. They're responding to hacking claims by launching a, quote, accidental fork. Now, Aria has already pointed out... Well, Aria has already pointed out that the use of language by this particular author is not, well, it's not exactly the best.
It's incorrect.
Yeah,
at best.
Completely misusing words. So we're going to drudge through this. I've been following Verge.
Take one for the team, Will.
Yeah. Verge is also like they're a coin that I invest in their product because I believe in it, and I want to see them be successful. I want to see one of these security coins be extremely successful. That's why I invest in all of them. Anonymity-focused cryptocurrency Verge, XVG, it lost 25% of its value yesterday as news surfaced of an apparent hack which developers resolved by accidentally initiating a fork. According to various press and social media sources, according to Verge developer, including Verge developer known only as Sunarok, a bug allowed manipulation of block mining timestamps. This created the potential for illegitimate coins to appear from nowhere. Oh, okay, that's from Bitcoin Talk. There's currently a 51% attack going on XVG, which exploits a bug in retargeting in the XVG code. Supernova Mining Pool OC Miner reported on Bitcoin Talk. Now, I myself saw posts from the Twitter accounts, from the Verge fam and all the big Verge Twitter accounts saying That actually isn't true. There was no 51% attack being waged on Verge. Due to several bugs in the XVG code, you can exploit a feature by mining blocks with a spoofed timestamp. When you submit a mine block as a malicious miner or pool, you simply set a false timestamp to this block 1 hour ago, and XVG will then think the last block mined on the algo was 1 hour ago. The debacle comes just 3 weeks after John McAfee endorsed Verge lost control of its Twitter account due to a social engineering hack, with funds reportedly not being at risk. Following the fresh bug reports, however, Sunarok appeared to adopt a laissez-faire attitude to fixing them, pushing through an accidental hard fork. You guys are aware that the fix you pushed actually is a hard fork, so your blockchain snapshot is not valid anymore. The wallets won't sync up from scratch anymore, and the current chain is simply not usable anymore with that new, quote, fix, OC Miner continued. Analysis by Supernova suggested that the hack stopped April 5th. I skimmed the logs and saw the attacker started the new attack at around block 2,014,060 and stopped just now at block 2,026,196. Verge's last official Twitter update was published. No, it's not. It's been less than 9 hours because I was reading their Twitter page this morning. We had a small hash attack that lasted about 3 hours earlier this morning. It's been cleared up now. We'll be implementing even more redundancy checks for things of this nature in the future. So,
Will, there is something interesting in this Bitcoin Talk forum that if we can get Verge on, you need to ask them about.
Okay.
Apparently, something, I can't read all of this because it's massive and most of the posts are very, very long, even for crap that I normally read. But someone replied to something by saying it cannot happen in Bitcoin because Bitcoin doesn't have such a system. Instead, Bitcoin relies on proof of work only, which, implies that Verge utilizes proof of stake.
I think they are a, what do you call it?
Well, they may be like
Hybrid.
Ethereum and utilizing both.
Yeah, they're a hybrid coin.
But I
So
just knew
guys-
that had some kind of implications as far as Islam goes.
They're on a weird algorithm. They're on a different algorithm than Bitcoin is on too. What's their algorithm? I don't know. What's
So,
it called?
Guys, you're gonna love this. So I went to the Verge Twitter to see if they'd posted any updates, and their last update was this one from yesterday at 10 a.m. that you just read. But under the comments, there is a comment that claims to be from Verge Currency, which is the official name of their Twitter account, that says, "To apologize, we're introducing 2 giveaways."
Yeah, fishing
And
scam.
one says
that's going to end well.
And one says it's an ETH giveaway, and the other's a Bitcoin giveaway, and it's from a fake Twitter account, VergedX Promo.
Yeah.
That just stole the Verge symbol, and people are falling for it. Of course they are, or at least appear to be. It may be fake accounts that are claiming to have fallen for it to try to get other people to fall for it, but it's so obviously fake. If you know how to spot a fake account. Watch out. If you are afraid you have been the victim of a scam, as always, try not to fall for another one while you're investigating the first one.
Right? No one here was the victim of a scam. No one was having coins really stolen. They were just creating fake blocks that were making money that didn't exist. Does that make sense? It was confusing the blockchain into thinking that you had already mined a block an hour ago and giving you the money for it. I don't understand. I mean, I'm not into cryptography. If you understand what we're talking about, maybe give us a call, 603-283-6160.
But it sounds like they just, didn't have a check in there to ensure that the time a block was added to the chain was the actual time. So that if you added a block an hour ago, it thought that was the most recent. You could, kind of desync it.
Yes, that's what they were doing basically. Was they were desyncing it. They were confusing.
Yeah, that's bad programming.
Yeah, basically. And this the algorithm is Lyra 2. Anyway, give us a call here, 603-283-6160. We'll be right back.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
If you're David, a few well-chosen words can help level the playing field with Goliath. I'm Holland Cook from survivalspeech.com. Recently, I saw a Yellow Pages ad for an appliance repair company, and the headline read, "Why wait for Sears?" If you're going to the Yellow Pages, the Dead Sea Scrolls of advertising, you're ready to buy right now. So this is an attention-grabbing message. And how about the plumber whose radio ad says, "Call by noon Thursday, and we'll be there Saturday at no extra cost"? Smart guy. Most plumbing firms give their crew the weekend off. This one gives them Sunday and Monday off. In the words of a respected advertising executive, cut to the chase, make it quick, and tell me exactly what you can do for me, especially if you're looking for work. For more tips on critical communication skills for the way things are now, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Did you know you can listen to LRN.FM via our free-to-air satellite channels? We have channels over nearly all of North America and much of Africa. All you need is an affordable receiver and a dish as small as 30 inches. There are no monthly fees. Learn more at sat.lrn.fm. Plus, if you are a broadcaster or want to be one, this is a good delivery method for our content. See our coverage maps and get details at sat.lrn.fm. That's sat.lrn.fm. sat.lrn.fm.
Join Daryl W. Perry on Peace, Love, Liberty Radio as he brings you news, views, and opinions while promoting the ideas of peaceful interaction.
The FBI or CIA or NSA or any other government agency could also go to the FISA court and say that we want information on anyone associated with anyone who is under investigation by the FBI. If they could somehow connect you, my listener, to me, then you could possibly be subject to investigation by the FBI, the NSA, the CIA, or any other government agency. Not because I directly am under investigation that I am aware of, but as a donor to antiwar.com, and knowing that they have been investigated by the FBI, then it's very possible.
Peace, Love, Liberty Radio, online at fppradio.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com, on the call to freedom on LRN.fm. أنتم تستمعون إلى The Crypto Hour. يقدم إليكم برعاية Helium.com على برنامج نداء للحرية على LRN.fm.
LRN.FM. We are broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And are you new to the crypto game? Is it something that you've wanted to get involved in, but you haven't, you don't have the time to spend a whole day in front of a computer watching your wallet on your phone? You just don't have that. Well, you know what? Try out Helium. It is a savings accelerator. And what they've done is they've designed a bot that will watch the values between regular fiats and cryptocurrencies simultaneously. That way it can move your money when the timing is just right. You just load it up with a bank account or your own digital wallet, and then you set it and forget it. Everything is completely automatic. Helium, it lets your money move you. So go on over to helium.com. That's HELEUM.com/CTF and get a thank you for being a Call to Freedom listener. No more drinking beer before I come to work. Anyway, we've been talking about, what we talk about during Crypto Hour, which is the goings-on in the crypto community today. One of the big stories, of course, being what happened with Verge and their current hard fork because of a programming error, I would have to say. I do like the idea of their Wraith protocols, the ability to turn on and off, the ability to fully encrypt your transactions in a secret manner. I like the fact it's supposed to be like laid over top of the Lightning Network so that you could basically shapeshift coins on the move. So I could spend Verge while actually spending Bitcoin or Dash or other currencies if I chose to. But their Wraith protocols came out about 2 weeks later than they were supposed to, which is what caused the coin to lose its first quarter in value. And, I do like that they're trying to put stuff out. They're like, oh, well, the deadline's here and we're not ready. But be straight up honest on that instead of being like, okay, well, we're not ready. And then a few days later, put it out anyway, and it still not be ready. Because that's basically what has to have happened for it to be this big of an issue. But at least they got on top of it. At least they're going to fork the coin. And supposedly all of the exchanges are now on. I think it's Verge Fam is the Twitter account that I was reading that on. I want to move on now to another story here. It's from Molly Jane Zuckerman. And the title itself I find a little bit humorous. It says here, the IRS warns taxpayers, include crypto in your tax returns. So the U.S. Internal Revenue Service released a memo on March 23rd reminding U.S. citizens on the need to report their digital currency earnings on their income tax returns. IRS notes that Notice 2014-21 defines digital currencies as property. They are thus subject to federal property taxes. Those who fail to report their crypto earnings can be liable for penalties and interest, and in more extreme situations, criminal prosecution. The recent memo highlights the inherently pseudo-anonymous aspect of cryptocurrency transactions, which the organization believes may lead some taxpayers to be tempted to hide taxable income from the IRS.
No.
In 2017, only 0.04% of customers of personal finance service Credit Karma reported crypto transactions on their tax returns. Really? Oh, you mean that people that deal in cryptocurrency use it for what it was designed for?
Yeah, the whole thing is bizarre. I mean, how do they want me to measure that? Because one Bitcoin is still one Bitcoin. So, I mean, there are no real gains to it. I still just have one Bitcoin.
Well, remember that the IRS considers cryptocurrency to be the same as any other personal property. If the value in dollars changes, they want you to report that because they don't recognize it. They don't recognize it as a currency yet, and they probably won't as long as they think they can tax someone. See, if the dollars in your bank account, go up in value, fat chance.
For real?
Then you don't have to report that, but any other asset, you're supposed to report any income that you gain from the appreciation of that asset, especially if you sold it. Now, here's the thing. They can once you've reported it, they can challenge your valuation. And it makes it a lot easier for them to do so if you report that you have it. I'm not saying you should hide things from the IRS. I would never tell you to do that. I'm just telling you make their job a lot easier when you volunteer things.
Right. It's
not that I would tell you not to do that.
It's like the you guys got Netflix? Either one of you?
I do not allow myself to have Netflix.
All right. They've got this documentary series that came out on Netflix a few weeks ago about the Rajneeshpuram, which was like a Buddhist commune that was built in Oregon in the early and mid 80s. And the way they were able to shut the commune down is they went in and what happened was a member of the commune robbed the commune. They stole like $50 million. Yeah. And so the leader...
A Buddhist commune
Yes.
had $50 million.
Yes.
Donations, I assume.
That's kind of like Joel Osteen's church kind of thing.
Yeah, but when you see what they used the money for and how they turned the desert into like a lush paradise and that kind of stuff, you can understand. Anyway, he let the FBI in to investigate that. And while they were there, they built a case to have his commune shut down and him deported.
God, what dicks.
Welcome to the FBI, man. That's why you don't ever talk. Don't talk to them.
That is horrible.
You commend them if they don't shoot your dog. That's it. If they come to your house and they don't shoot your dog or one of your kids, you commend them on the fact that they had a little bit of self-control for once. And that's really about it. We'll be back here in just a little while to discuss more about the IRS thinking you'll be dumb enough to tell them how much Bitcoin you have.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me. Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't going to make it.
Wait a minute. Forget it.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my Unbelievable. Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Crypto Hour on the Call to Freedom.
تستمتعون إلى The Crypto Hour على برنامج نداء للحرية.
Live from the Vertcoin studio. This is the call to freedom. It's the Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium 47 here on LRN.FM. When you kill the faucet, be colorified to get some free coins. This is the call to freedom.
That's right. It's the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We are in the middle of our Crypto Hour. We've been talking about the IRS. Well, the IRS has put out some new codes on cryptocurrencies. They're encouraging people that it would probably be a good idea if you declare this income so that we can come and take as much of it from you as we feel belongs to us, because, but let's take a look at this. I've got a copy of the memo right here. Good God, is it long? Tom, if I put a link, Tom,
I'm here.
I put a link to this legal mumbo jumbo in the Discord chat, not in our private one, but for the whole room all the listeners to see. While we're chatting about this, you think you could take a look over it, our Mr. Attorney?
Yep, I've got it right here. It's actually from 2014, if I'm not mistaken. It's IRS Notice 2014-21. So it's been around for a while. It's just that after last year in particular,
the IRS is sending it out again.
Yeah, because it's fully aware that a lot more people got involved in this market, especially late last year, and experienced some gains.
Can I ask a fair question?
No, if they got in the market late last year, they didn't experience any gains. They're sitting on some heavy losses.
I mean, that was
now they are. Is that
was going to be my question. If I have to pay them when I make money, are they going to pay me when I lose money? I mean, I know they would if I was a big corporation.
They're not going to pay you, but your losses may be deductible next year. It just depends on proper reporting. But to what you said, Will,
would Bitcoin losses qualify, even if properly reported?
Yeah, they could. if the asset lost value, and then yeah, you could have a depreciation deduction there. But here's the thing: that deduction depends on whether you reported it in the first place. And here's what the IRS knows. To your point, Will. When you say people who bought last year may be sitting on heavy losses, well, remember that the reporting year cuts off at December 31st. And they are going to tax you based on how much money you made from the time that you bought the cryptocurrency last year to December 31st. And for this year, you will get absolutely no relief from the fact that after December 31st, your investments went in the crapper. But that's exactly why they want to make sure you report it for 2017 so that they can maximize how much they tax you on those sweet, sweet gains that no longer exist. Isn't this fun? So they want to make sure.
If I love or hate having a lawyer on the show sometimes.
Hey, just try not to shoot the messenger, okay? I know it's tempting.
I wish we had Melanie on the show because she's a tax accountant. I wish she was in here today.
Well, she'd either agree with me or she'd be wrong. Just saying. But somebody like Melanie hopefully could help you figure out how to make sure that when this year's up, you can somehow realize
not
how much
file your taxes.
Well,
I didn't say that out loud.
Yeah, I don't think Melanie's going to help with that. And certainly I, as an attorney, would never advise you not to file your taxes or not to declare something to the IRS, thereby making it easier for them to audit you.
The Cult of Freedom does not give legal or financial advice. We are not licensed legal.
Nope.
Well, Tom is, but he's not allowed to give legal advice on the show. And
even if I was, I wouldn't.
And we don't give financial advice because we are not licensed financial advisors. Sorry.
Yep. And I am licensed only. And I am licensed only as an attorney in the states of Tennessee and Virginia. And even if I did give you legal advice, I would never do it. I would never tell you not to report your taxes on a medium that I know is being recorded and will be uploaded to the internet later, because I'm not a total idiot.
So Wikawea wants to know.
Thanks, Tom.
Wikawea wants to know, so that means they can tax you on the gains for 1 year, even if you don't sell and realize those gains? And then the value drops? So you've been taxed on something you didn't actually earn?
See, that's what I would have to read the rest of this notice for. See, usually you're taxed based on realization, which is when you dispose of an asset. But when it comes to cryptocurrency, you could have experienced a realization event by spending it. Like if your Bitcoin, gained a certain amount and then you spent,
but that would make it a currency to the IRS. Right.
But, no, they would view it as a like-kind exchange.
Barter. Yeah, as a like-kind exchange, a barter.
So if you bought Bitcoin at, say, 10,000 sometime last year, and then while it was up around the 17 to 19,000 range, you went and bought stuff for it, then they would tax you on the realization event that occurred when you spent the currency. And that's why the IRS's treatment of cryptocurrency as property as opposed to as currency is so problematic for people who are actually trying to use cryptocurrency as a medium of exchange.
Yeah.
Is because
I'm glad I don't have to worry about it because I don't own any coins. The mosque owns lots.
What's a cryptocurrency?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't own anything. The mosque owns a lot of currencies. Well, not a lot, but a little. It at one time it owned a few $1,000s worth, which we used to buy books for a children's library for the mosque.
Make sure that whatever gains you realized on that spending of cryptocurrency on those children's books, pay your taxes, or else those children's books are going to belong to the federal government.
We're a non-profit, so we don't have to worry about it to start with.
And you got to worry about reporting. I'm sure Melanie can help you with that. Just because you don't get taxed on it doesn't mean you don't have to tell them you got it. It's kind of crazy.
Huh. I don't know if that's the way it works here or not. I'm sure we'll Find out one way or the other. But so yeah, the IRS says only 0.04% of customers reported last year, and they know people made a whole lot of money this year, so they want to get their finger in the pie. They started providing guidance for taxation of Bitcoin in March of 2014. Like Tom said, as we mentioned before, cryptocurrency is treated by the IRS as property. That means the purchase, sale, trade, and mining of currency are all taxable events. Independent cryptocurrency trader Brandon Williams told CNBC that it would be more reasonable for him to treat cryptocurrencies as currency since property status is, quote, almost a deterrent in the pursuit of mainstream adoption, which makes sense.
That's exactly why they treat it that way.
Yeah, they purposefully treat it like that to discourage mainstream adoption for that type of a purpose. Duh. Really? You don't say. There's so many things like these government and banker types are like, oh, well, I'm so smart because I made this observation, that if anybody with like the slightest clue what's going on and the thinking capability of a 3-year-old could have figured out by looking at it. All right. Well, anyway, do you pay taxes on your cryptocurrencies? Do you plan on paying taxes on your cryptocurrencies? Do you think it's wrong to ask people to pay taxes on your cryptocurrencies? Give us a call, 603-283-6160. We'll be back in just a little while here on The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Now that you've found the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM, you may want to help expose others to our great programs. To assist you in doing so, you'll find resources at promote.lrn.fm, including details on how to get a free bumper sticker, quarter-page flyers you can print out and distribute, banners for your website, as well as files that will allow you to make your own custom banners and graphics. Visit promote.lrn.fm and help bring new listeners to the Liberty Radio Network. That's promote.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
You are listening to Call to Freedom's Crypto Hour, brought to you by Helium.com. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार के क्रिप्टो आवर को, जिसके प्रस्तुत करता है Helium.com.
Here on LRN.FM. It's the final segment of this Thursday live broadcast's Crypto Hour. We've been talking about the IRS wants you to tell them how much you made in Bitcoin or whatever cryptocurrency you happen to invest in this year. So you should run out there and pick up those forms and do just like you were told, like a good little slave. So we wanted to continue on, though, with I wanted to hit this story before we got out of here today. I like it when people have good, predictions for the future of crypto. This is coming from the CEO of Abra. Says big investors will make all hell break loose in crypto in 2018. Cryptocurrency investment app Abra's CEO forecast that, quote, all hell will break loose in Bitcoin and altcoin markets this year in a fresh mainstream media interview published on March the 28th. Speaking to Business Insider 2 weeks after the startup announced it had raised $40 million in new funding since October, CEO Bill Barheit said Western institutional money would begin to dip its toes into crypto assets in 2018. In doing so, Barheit continued, a popular narrative that institutional investors, quote, waiting for opportune moments will transform Bitcoin and major altcoin price performance. Bitcoin continues to sink toward fresh biweekly lows, circling around, at this point, under $7,000. It's lost. Ethereum has also lost 52% of its value in a month, set to challenge $400 a coin.
That's not a challenge you want to win.
For real. Not when it was $1,000 just a month ago. I talked to hedge funds, high net worth individuals, even commodity speculators. They look at the volatility in the crypto markets and they see it as a huge opportunity, Barheit nonetheless reports, adopting a conspicuously bullish tone. Once that happens, all hell's going to break loose. Once the floodgates are opened, they're opened. Even cryptocurrency industry analysts have recently aired caution about short-term price prospects for Bitcoin. Regular commentator Tone Vase had warned during the recent highs that until resistance around 12,000 was cleared, prices would continue to post lackluster performance and could even drop lower than current levels. For Barheit, however, future potential takes prevalence over short-term volatility between $6,000 and $12,000. There is really a zero large-scale institutional money from the West, and there's really zero large-scale institutional money from the West in crypto right now. That's only happening in Japan. We're getting closer.
I mean, this is what Coinbase is intentionally attempting to do with their new program. I think it was you had to have $10 million deposit to even get involved with it. They're doing this huge, I don't remember the details about it because I don't know, how, major finance works, but it was basically making speculative bets on cryptos, and you needed a minimum of $10 million to even get involved.
Yeah.
It was a big story when it first came out.
Vase continues, we're getting closer and closer to real clarity in the West that it's okay putting 0.5% of your assets into crypto. So basically the argument is that we've not really seen the institutional money come into crypto yet. That all the booming and everything that we've seen, the $20,000, we thought that it had to do with these big level investors getting involved late last year. But those people didn't actually get involved, and that it was normal folks who were putting their money in off of the hype around the possibility of these big players getting involved. And then when there weren't major jumps and gains, people sold and crashed the market, basically.
Yeah, you had maybe some higher net worth individuals getting involved, but as far as the real institutional money, what that really is one big institution that represents thousands, tens of thousands, even millions of individuals' investments. And those guys are reticent to get involved in a new asset because those guys are more apt to get sued. Whereas if you're just an individual putting your money into crypto and something goes wrong, it's just you lose your money. But I think that the forecast here is correct. These huge players see opportunity for a high risk investment pool here with crypto, but they were never gonna buy in at the high end. They want to buy in when it's low, so that if it ends up being a boom,
they missed that boat.
Well, yeah, we don't know. We don't know what the recovery will look like. I mean, they're probably looking to wait until it gets even lower than it is now. But what they want to be able to do is put that small, like it says, 0.5% of a lot of people's portfolios into crypto, so that if there's continued losses, it won't even be noticeable versus their safer investments that make up the majority of the portfolio, plus the other higher return investments that are in there, like even higher risk stocks. But if it booms, they want to have that 0.5% in there so that they can go to these smaller investors who never would have bought crypto on their own and say, look what we caught on to. We caught this big trend that you hadn't even heard of, and you should give us even more of your money to play with. That's the play. But it does spell bad news for the individual investor, more so, and we talked about this a little bit with the IRS thing. It spells bad news for the usability of cryptocurrency as currency, as opposed to it's being viewed as an asset by these institutional powers. They would much rather it be viewed as an asset, because then they can trade in it like this, but they don't have to worry about it competing with the dollar. And that's what they don't want to see that happen.
Yeah. Well, this isn't the only one. You've got multiple different companies that are talking about how they're interested, these big money companies, but they're not actually buying in. They're just talking about interest. Let's see here. You've got MoneyGram signed on to test Ripple's XRP token as a digital method for sending money. JP Morgan and Chase's infamous crypto skeptic CEO Jamie Dimon expressing that the blockchain is real, and his personal support for cryptocurrencies that represent traditional currencies like dollars and yen. So you've got other people that are acknowledging that, like, this big investor money out there, Goldman Sachs considering offering a Bitcoin-related investment product. So you've got these big name players that are out there, and they're talking about it. But who's going to be the first one to move forward and actually do it? Who's going to be the one to make the money? Which company is going to decide we want to be the trendsetters? We want to be the ones that are first out of the gate, the ones that are setting the standard. Who's going to be the ones to do that? Because I'm not seeing anybody that's saying that they want to do that. Like, there's discussion, there's talk, but that's really it. I'm not seeing anything past that. Because a lot of this talk was in 2017, 6 months or more ago. What do you think, Tom?
I think that's about it.
I do too. I think it's about time for another crypto hour to be game over. We are done with another crypto hour in the books. When we get back, we're gonna talk about a story that came out from The Intercept today. It's a truth that many of us already know, though.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
More of the Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, April 5th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.27 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,327 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $19, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,696. Antiwar.com reports President Trump is still very clear that he wants U.S. troops out of Syria and has even ordered commanders to quickly wrap up military operations in the country. It doesn't seem to be happening, however, as White House officials have been feverishly backpedaling from the president's comments. President Trump was said to have been pushing for a withdrawal for months behind the scenes, and comments over the past week seemingly made that formal policy. Though Trump advisors are said to have drawn up plans for a pullout, they proposed an alternative plan to Trump where they don't have to leave at all. Indications from the White House are that Trump isn't getting his way and that instead the U.S. is going to just stay in Syria to eliminate the small the Islamic State presence that yet remains. Since the U.S. has not been fighting the Islamic State on the ground in quite some time, there's no timetable for that. Administration officials seem to be eager to present this as something short of overruling Trump, which legally they can't actually do. Still, without the timetable, it's a distinction without much of a difference, and the troops are just stuck in Syria. It could be for quite some time, too, as the idea of totally eliminating the Islamic State isn't particularly realistic on any timescale. The group's fighters have mostly fled into the desert and spread out since the loss of their territory, and there will likely always be a case to be made that some of the fighters are left. That means that while presenting this as a minor hitch in Trump's pullout, it could effectively be presented as defaulting back to the old position of the Pentagon that the troops in Syria are there in an open-ended way. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports President Donald Trump on Wednesday ordered his administration to deploy National Guard members to the southwest border to assist Border Patrol agents with curbing undocumented immigration. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Christian Nielsen said during the daily White House briefing, "It's time to act," adding that plans were being finalized. A senior administration official told reporters later Wednesday that this is all happening very rapidly and the White House expects troops to be at the border very soon. Officials did not say how many troops the National Guard would send. President Barack Obama sent 1,200 troops in 2010, and President George W. Bush sent 6,200 to the border in 2006 as part of Operation Jumpstart. Administration officials said they anticipate a significant uptick of illegal border crossing attempts in the spring and summer months, despite the fact that those crossings had declined since Trump's election. Nielsen's announcement came one day after Trump said he wanted the U.S. military to guard the border. For over 40 years, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Robertson Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Robertson Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports teachers from across Oklahoma walked off the job for a third consecutive day on Wednesday, repeating their demands for higher pay and more spending on education. The Oklahoma Department of Public Safety officials said hundreds of teachers from dozens of districts, as well as parents and students, had packed the state capitol in Oklahoma City by mid-morning. They want lawmakers to pass a tax package that would raise another $200 million for schools. Oklahoma City resident Ashley Morris said by telephone from the rally, "My books were old when I was in high school more than 15 years ago, and chances are a lot of them are still being used today. Students just aren't getting what they need or deserve, and that puts teachers in a tough situation," adding that her roommate is a first-grade teacher who relies on a second job to pay her bills. The walkouts follow a 2-week job action in West Virginia that prompted lawmakers to raise teachers' pay. Educators in Kentucky also demonstrated against years of stagnant or reduced budgets by a Republican-controlled legislature. Teachers in Arizona have threatened similar job actions. The state's two largest school districts, Oklahoma City and Tulsa, said classes would be canceled on Thursday as well. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
A new report released this week has found that nearly 3/4 of sleepaway campers' parents are currently using their children's time away from home to take the first steps towards filing for divorce.
With 46% of campers' moms currently staying with their sisters while they try to figure out, and 38% of campers' dads sleeping on the living room couch and staring at the ceiling for hours before falling asleep.
Most campers are, at this precise moment, wholly unaware that their fathers are looking for temporary sublets and are experiencing a level of carefree, joyful buoyancy that, experts say, they will never feel again.
The majority of campers currently have, on average, 16 days until their lives come crashing down around them, at which point their parents will pick them up from camp, drive them to a restaurant, and then break the news that while they'll always be a family, they won't be living together anymore.
I love camp this year. It's so much fun. Mom sent me so many care packages. Dad even sent one. It's awesome.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is Angel Clark, and you're listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
Here we go, off the rails. You know, it's time to raise ourselves. It's freedom like you never knew. Go back or past. Say the word, I'll be there in a flash. You could say my head, it's up to you.
All right, welcome back here to the final hour of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the Vertcoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And it is another beautiful day here in the Live Free or Die state. Currently, though, we got a call on the line right here. You guys might have known it if you listened to Free Talk Live. You probably heard him before. It's Ridley from the Ridley Report. How you doing tonight, Ridley? What do you think, and why do you think it?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Hey, I have a question for you. Anta luhat al-Arabiyatu?
Do what?
Anta luhat al-Arabiyatu.
شوية.
يوصفني أنت كلمة لغة العربية.
Really? Where did you learn?
I didn't.
Really?
That's it. That's basically the entirety of my Arabic knowledge. I know the only other word I know is not
more than I know, and I do a show with him.
Nahdahu, right.
No, I was just asking Will if I think what I literally said was you Arab language, and Will must have said yes, and I said I'm sorry I don't speak the Arab language.
I said shweya, which means a little.
Okay, all right.
Shweya, which means a little. Which the funny thing is, the other brother that gives the khutbah at the masjid here in Keene, Dr. Ahmed Al-Abadi, he's from Jordan. And if you asked him, do you know Arabic? And like he speaks fluent Arabic and he speaks English with a pretty heavy Arabic accent. If you ask him, do you know Arabic? His response will be shweya.
Yeah.
A little. Because even the Arabs acknowledge that, like, they don't really speak good Arabic, that there's specific areas of the world that speak like really good Arabic, and even that Arabic's not as good as it was, 1,400 years ago.
Right.
The Quranic Arabic's a little different still.
I had planned to learn a little bit more, but I was just listening to some language tapes, basically, and what I found out was that you can't really tell when you're listening to the language tape what's going on. Normally, like with the German language tape, they tell you the German word, they tell you the English word, and it's pretty cut and dry. But with Arabic, I guess there's some issues with the male and female being very complicated.
I would recommend Rosetta Stone over language tapes these days.
Maybe, yeah.
I used it to learn Italian. It was really effective.
Part of the problem is that there are words in the Arabic language that it requires entire sentences in English to explain the concept of.
Yeah.
Like...
and noises that we don't make.
Yes, that as well. That as well. But like the word kafara means to put a seed into dirt. Kafara means farmer. Kufr means to place a seed into dirt. So one word.
Plant?
Kufr. No. No, because the word kufr can also be used in different contexts to have a similar social meaning as to place someone into darkness. So the words can be used in different ways. So like kufr in one context can mean one thing, or in another it can mean another. Like the word ayah. The word ayah has 3 different meanings depending on the context it is used in the sentence. It can mean signs. It can mean miracles. It can mean a verse in the Quran, like an actual verse of writing. So the word has multiple meanings, and you don't know which meaning it is until you read it in the context of the whole sentence.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's like an onion. That's the way it's always been explained to me. Arabic is like an onion, and it's just the first level, and then the next, and it just gets deeper and deeper. And like I know people that have PhDs in Arabic studies that tell me that they don't feel qualified in the Arabic language.
Yeah, and you see when you add in the fact that it's like the language of a sacred text, it becomes that much more important to know like the nuances of it. But let's be clear about this: English is not any easier for someone who's a non-native English speaker, and English is not so much like an onion as it is like, what's like one of the messiest foods you can eat?
It's an apple that you call a transmission.
Well, I would say it's more like walking in a dark room where there are holes everywhere.
Yeah.
But
and you never know which one.
I mean, because we leave half of our sentences out with ellipses, and non-English speakers, have no idea what we're actually getting at.
Yeah, trailing off mid-sentence is very much an English thing. Homonyms are very much an English thing. I mean, buffalo, 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 buffalo. That's a complete sentence in English.
Yes.
Because the word buffalo
has so many different meanings.
Yep, it can be the noun buffalo, it can be 2 different verbs. One is to complain, one is to annoy, or it can be the city of Buffalo. So
wait, there's a third verb. Buffalo also could mean to con.
Yeah. But it doesn't, I mean, you could then further, you could like insert another buffalo into that, because when you just say buffalo, 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 you're saying that buffalo.
Selling his hat to rest.
You're saying that, like, buffalo from the city of Buffalo complain that other buffalo from the city of Buffalo con buffalo from the city of Buffalo.
Yeah. Anyway, so Ridley, what'd you call in about, bud?
I had a couple of crypto thoughts, since you're on the crypto hour, you're just wrapping it up.
Thank God, because this was going nowhere.
Yeah, so these ideas have sort of been ballooning in my head, and they have to come out.
Where'd you go?
Oh, I'm here. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, there you are.
Yeah, I just say I have all these ideas that it seems like no one, all these things I'm noticing that few people seem to be noticing.
All right.
Okay.
So, for example, hardly anyone seems to be talking about the fact that the amount of volatility between major altcoins and even moderate-sized altcoins seems to have dramatically gone down.
Yes. We've mentioned more than once that alt markets have kind of stabilized. We have talked about the small creeping ups and downs, but most coins are staying as Bitcoin hovers between $6,000 and $9,000. Most coins are retaining a value. I've particularly been praising of Digibytes, which once it hit a price floor of a little over 2 cents, it's basically not moved. It's become my coin of choice for, like, I need some coin so I can, like, I've got coin that I hold on to that I use places. So, like, when I go to Local Burger, I will convert Digibytes into Dash, because Dash is a lot more volatile, whereas Digibytes stays almost in the exact same spot. So we've kind of discussed it. I don't think we've done a whole lot of like a straight expose on like how the markets have have calmed down because other markets aren't calming down. You're still seeing huge swings in Bitcoin of $2,000 and $3,000, and when it's a $7,000 coin, that's a 30% swing in value in a day sometimes.
Well, if you're careful, you can make off with a lot of additional cryptocurrency, essentially from, Shapeshift and Changelly by converting between Ethereum and Litecoin, because at one point the ratio was like 1-6, and now it's 1-3. So if you go back and forth at the right time, and it's fairly easy to predict when it's going to happen, you end up, with twice the amount of Litecoin that you had for the same price of Ethereum.
All right. Well, when we get back here on the Call to Freedom, we'll have more with Ridley and what he's got to tell us from here.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Did you know you can get news updates about what's happening with the Liberty Radio Network delivered in the way you prefer? You can sign up for our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. Plus, you can stay in the loop by joining our Facebook profile at facebook.lrn.fm or follow us at Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm. It's all free, so sign up now at updates.lrn.fm for news updates delivered to your email box, facebook.lrn.fm to follow our Facebook page, and twitter.lrn.fm to receive our tweets.
Everyone needs to get a justice shed. So you have a place to throw that little juvenile delinquent you caught loitering out on the street corner. This is not rocket science, people. I just call up my neighbors, Frank and Terry. We get out there with baseball bats, fishing nets, and we knock that suspect out. And we toss him in our justice shed. We just start dealing out some shovel beatings. That's democracy, people. That's the biggest benefit of the Justice Shed, people. You are in charge.
Our Justice Shed was all filled up, so we created this Justice Cage. It's just as good. These guys, I think we caught them shoplifting, and this is my daughter's boyfriend.
Look, if you don't have a yard big enough to place a Justice Shed in, go out and get yourself a Justice Barrel. I don't care. The important thing is to take control of your safety by any means necessary.
This is the Onion News Network.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You are listening to The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
تستمتعون إلى برنامج نداء للحرية مباشرة على LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And, well, it's been a pretty good broadcast so far. Joined by my classic crew right now, Mr. Tom Gray and Miss Aria Demezio of cryptocurrencycheck.org. Bring. I don't know what I'm supposed to send. Anyway,
a link to the song that you just played.
Oh, this
and the Zelda ones.
Okay. I got you. Well,
I mean, because that Pika is so perfectly timed.
I know.
Thank you.
It's done on a launch pad, and these guys, they put on like these green gloves and stuff so that they look like goblins, and they're one of my new favorite like launchpad DJ type. I love the stuff that they do because they do lots of like Zelda and the Lost Wood ones. That's the same people.
They did that one as well.
Yep.
Okay,
So,
awesome. I'm just gonna
anyway, we've
subscribe
been
to them on
talking
YouTube
with,
then.
Yeah. Well, we've been talking with Dave Ridley. We've got Dave Ridley on from the Ridley Report, and so what's up?
So yeah, another observation about cryptos that people don't seem to be talking about very much is there's I think an advance since now you've got these things coming online, these cryptos coming online, which are in a sense a hedge against cryptos. So you think like the DigixDAO and Bitcar, these are just barely. DigixDAO is not that new, but
Now, DigixDAO, that's the one that's based on gold, right?
Well, it will be. That's the thing. That I think it just came out, the DGX coin, which is based on gold, but the DigixDAO is basically just an investment in the company that is creating the gold token. Does that make sense?
Yeah, gotcha.
The DigixDAOs have been available on exchanges for a while, and I think the DigixDAO is about a year and a half old. But the DGX coin, which is supposed to be pegged to gold, that's a powerful move forward for the cryptocurrency community. And again, hardly anyone's talking about it.
Well, no, we actually talked about it as the Bitcoin price crashed. Remember that, Tom? We were talking about how as Bitcoin was crashing, this digital currency that was pegged to the price of gold was shooting up like a rocket. The entire crypto market's in a free fall, and this coin posts a 20% gain.
Yeah. Well, it's down over the at least the last few weeks. It's only at about 50% of its peak, so it's not really performing all that well. But it's
a lot better than a lot of things.
Yeah, the fact that there is something there, like any of us who are kind of looking around at these markets, we would see, well, they're kind of all going up and down together to some extent, even though there's some volatility between them. Where what do I put money in that's actually different? That provides real diversity. I could never find anything. I don't know if this will provide it for me, or if it's something that is a good investment or not, but it seems like more the trend of all these different hedges coming available. To me, just knowing that there's a lot of them out there and there's going to be a lot more, that's to me a huge step forward.
Absolutely. Aria?
There's not really a lot to add.
Just a good observation.
Very good.
Well, then the other thing too is, again, a lot of times it seems like Bitcoin does really well when it's doing really badly. But so if you think about how many problems Bitcoin was having 6 months ago, but it was just mooning every month, it would just go up. It was having all kinds of problems, and now it's crashed. But there's the problem with fees has practically gone away, and that was the main problem.
Well, I think
now
that's
it's
partly
working
because
again.
it's crashed.
Yeah, it's necessity is the mother of invention, as they say.
Yeah, the crash is, I think, partly to cause for the crash in transaction costs as well, because you watched the price of Bitcoin and the price of transaction fees. Because until the last week or so, we would, because it's really kind of pointless now because they're finally down to a reasonable level. We used to announce, 3 months ago, we would announce the transaction fee for Bitcoin daily because it was so high. And it's finally, as the price of Bitcoin crashed, the transaction fee went down with it to the point that it's really not worth reporting on anymore because it doesn't really matter. It's in the cents instead of the dollars now.
And that, had to happen in order for it to remain something people would buy at all.
Yeah. You owe me a Coke, Tom. So anything else, Ridley?
It's really fascinating how long some of these things take to happen, that you would think you just see it right away, and it doesn't show up in the market for many months after that. I don't know. I used to think that there was this ad for Barron's magazine where they used to say, would you rather be the person, if you're buying and selling, would you rather be the person who reads Barron's or the person who doesn't? And I always thought, well, I'm not going to be the person who reads Barron's, so I guess I better not invest in anything. Right. But at the same time, I think what I've noticed or what I've learned maybe is just that most people just don't have time they've got money and it's got to go somewhere, and they just don't have time to do a ton of research. So maybe the situation is such that in all investing that you don't have to be as brilliant as you think you have to be.
I'm going to say most of the R&D time that could go into like researching investments that the average person could do goes into House and Saturday Night Live and drinks at the pub and football. There are other things that end up taking precedent over, well, there might be a good investment opportunity. Let's sit down and spend hours researching that. Oh, yeah, but the Goldbergs is on, so, I'm going to do that instead. I mean, we have to admit, in America, that's the way prioritization really works, is entertainment and all of these other things are usually prioritized over investment. So people
it's almost exclusively television.
Yeah, people would rather throw their money into something that they feel that they can just get rich quick. It's no effort. Just throw some money in it, and then in a few days I'll be a millionaire riding Lambos with hookers and blow, and that's not what happens. And they end up losing a boatload of money because they would rather watch football or watch the Goldbergs or some other TV show than actually spend the time researching.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your get intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Imagine someone in your community getting in their car, turning on the radio, and hearing the Liberty Radio Network. You can make that vision a reality with your own micro radio station. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how you can put our programs on the air in your area. You can have LRN.FM running around the clock, and you can even add in your own local shows. Building a radio station is simple, but programming isn't. That's where LRN.FM comes in. Learn more at broadcast.lrn.fm. That's broadcast.lrn.fm.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. आप सुन रहे हैं स्वतंत्रता की पुकार सिर्फ और सिर्फ LRN.FM पे।
Welcome back here to the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And we were talking with Dave Ridley from the Ridley Report just a little while ago. But now that he's gone, there's a story from The Intercept. Came out today, a little after noon. It's been making the rounds. It's quite a piece, and I think a lot of it is information that, you know, anybody who's really been paying attention actually we already know. You know, they
Ooh, this story is going to trigger James.
Right.
Good.
Says here, Muslims accused of plotting violence get 7 times more media attention and 4 times longer prison sentences. American courts and media treat Muslims very differently, a new study is showing. Among perpetrators of ideologically motivated violent plots, ideologically those who were perceived to be Muslim received sentences that were 4 times longer than non-Muslims involving similar cases. The disproportionality carried over into the court of public opinion as well. Cases of attempted violence by Muslims received 7.5 times more media coverage from major media outlets, while successful plots covered twice as much. These findings are contained in a new report entitled, quote, Equal Treatment, measuring the legal and media responses to ideologically motivated violence in the United States. It was released on Thursday by the Washington-based Institute for Social Policy and Understanding. It's built on years of research on cases of planned or successfully executed acts of ideological violence in the U.S. The report highlights glaring discrepancies in the way the judicial system and media treat such acts depending on the background of the suspected perpetrator. Much like we said on Monday, that when we heard that she's actually an Iranian Jew turned atheist, vegan, hardcore leftist, right?
How do they prosecute that?
Right?
Well, they don't now.
Yeah.
So was she
dead?
Yeah, shooter at YouTube. We were going to find out whether or not she was a terrorist or just mentally ill as soon as the media could figure out whether the scarf that they were reporting that she was wearing was for religious reasons or because of a fashion statement she was trying to make. Just hold on a moment. Well, they figured out she was a left-wing nut job, so that story went straight to the bottom of the pile, and Stormy Daniels came back to the top.
Yeah, despite, being the largest video server in the world.
Yeah.
By huge margins. The story is no longer being discussed.
That the demonetization policies that were recently enacted by them were the cause.
Well, she claimed it was the cause, but I think she was a few crumbs short of a cracker in the first place and was just waiting for an excuse to explode.
A few rabbits short of a hutch. Hey, she's a vegan animal rights activist. I had to make an animal joke. I'm sorry. Couldn't help it. The findings of this report build and expand on existing research, provide quantitative backing to many people's instinctual perceptions of what's been going on in the media and in our legal system. A fellow at ISPU and one of the co-authors of the report stated, as it relates to acts of ideological violence, there's frankly a double standard in how perpetrators are described in the media, as well as how they are treated in the courts. The average Category A terrorism suspect who was not a Muslim received 76 months in prison, whereas for the same type of charge, under similar circumstances, a Muslim for the same crime would receive 230 months in prison. For a Category B, those numbers are 53 months for non-Muslim perpetrators and 211 months for Muslim perpetrators. The report draws on a public database that compiled information on acts of ideological violence attempted or carried out in the U.S. between 2002 and 2015, including the Intercept's Trial and Terror database, which tracks prosecutions of cases involving international terrorism. Among these cases were numerous bomb plots, plot to attack government buildings, attempts to stockpile assault rifles for the purpose of carrying out attacks against civilians, and completed attacks that led to 2 or more fatalities. The researchers did a media analysis of completed attacks, but could not do a legal analysis as those incidents often led to the death of the perpetrator.
Which is its own stat.
Yes, that is correct. Researchers used 7 different variables to control for the severity of the crime in cases comparing perceived Muslim and non-Muslim perpetrators, including whether the plots resulted in fatalities, utilized deadly weapons, or involved co-conspirators. For purposes of analysis, the report refers to individuals perceived to be Muslim by the description of their motives in law enforcement statements and by the media. When comparing highly similar cases in terms of intended harm, the research found staggering disparities in the way that cases were treated both in the courts and by the media. Now, this is something we already knew this, right? Did we need to fund, did they need to raise a bunch of money to do a study on this? Like, really?
I think the fact that it was a controlled study, like they controlled for similarities in crimes, is the value in the study itself. Because if you were just saying, oh, Muslims or perceived Muslims get harsher sentences or harsher sought sentences, then people would just shoot back with, well, they commit worse crimes, they're bigger terrorists. But what this is saying is we've controlled for that.
Yes.
Well, even so, I mean, hard data is better than intuition.
They've actually got cases that they're like, here's a really simple example. 2014, this is the Oregon Christmas Day, the Christmas tree bombing that didn't happen. The one where the FBI was involved, they recruited the kid, refused to let him leave the state and go somewhere else and start a life that wasn't a terrorist, provided him with the bomb, provided him with the motivation, ideological encouragement, all those things came from the FBI. Muhammad Osman Muhammad, a 21-year-old Muslim man in Oregon, he was sentenced to 30...
Oh, well, see, he had Muhammad in his name. He was doomed from the start.
He was sentenced to 30 years in prison after being convicted of a bomb plot. Government's informants had encouraged Muhammad and provided the actual materials for the attack. Last fall, a North Carolina man, Michael Christopher Estes, who wanted to, quote, fight a war on U.S. soil, actually attempted to bomb an airport in North Carolina without the feds being involved and providing everything for him. In January, he pled guilty to unlawful possession of an explosive device.
That's all they got that guy on?
A charge carrying a maximum penalty.
Is there a lawful possession?
In prison.
There is, in fact.
A maximum of 5 years.
Which is the same statutory maximum as marijuana possession at the federal level, if anyone is keeping track.
Yeah, basically. Well, anyway, we'll be back here with a little bit more on this story. I'm sure lots of you watch the news. You're not idiots. You could notice these massive disparities. Well, now we've had multiple studies that have come out that are literally showing examples that the media has an agenda, and so do the courts. We'll be back here in just a moment on The Call to Freedom on LRN.FM.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
The three most important things you can do for LRN.FM are: 1. Let your friends know you're listening to LRN.FM on your social networking profile. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.lrn.fm. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm. It's my firm belief that the AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented groups. Support all your favorite organizations, but make sure you give $5 a month to the AMP program at amp.lrn.fm.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveatpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveatpurse.com. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
You are listening to the Call to Freedom on LRN.FM. Unasikiliza wito wa uhuru katika LRN.FM.
All right, welcome back to the final segment of today's live broadcast of the Call to Freedom here on LRN.FM. We're broadcasting live from the VertCoin studio right here in beautiful Keene, New Hampshire. And you know what? These days, keeping your internet communications secure is nearly impossible, particularly trying to keep your internet communications secure from the state. They can subpoena companies, they can shut down servers and stop you from being able to communicate altogether. And that's where CryptVisor comes in. CryptVisor is a completely decentralized platform for messaging. And well, you know what? They don't have a centralized server. So there's no, if the feds come scratching or knocking around, there's no servers for them to subpoena or to shut down. And CryptVisor doesn't take any of your personal information. So if they come sniffing around for that, well, CryptVisor can't give it to them because, well, they can't either because they don't have it either. So I encourage you, go over to CryptVisor and check out both their messaging platform and their other great options like the CVPay crypto wallet and other advanced security features that they offer. Then you can do that at cryptvisor.network. That's CRYPVISER, CryptVisor with a C, cryptvisor.network. So we've been talking about this story here from The Intercept, and basically there's been another study done, and you know, these studies keep coming out and it keeps showing us the same thing that is oftentimes blatantly obvious. Like, Tom, you watch the news. Who do you think gets more media attention and longer airplay if they commit a terrorist attack? Just a regular, like the Vegas attack or Orlando?
Oh, boy, howdy, Will. I reckon that it's them there Muslims.
Well, it's not just in media that we're finding this. This says that the Estes case barely registered in the media. The case of Christopher Estes, the man who attempted to bomb an airport in North Carolina last year, nor was it promoted by political leaders who often enthusiastically use acts of violence committed by Muslims or Latinos to rally their bases around issues like immigration and national security. Disparaging in sentencing in these similar cases is attributable in part to the charges they faced. The study found that the government is more likely to prosecute Muslim defendants for the charge of possessing a weapon of mass destruction rather than of simple possession of explosives, showing that Muslims in seven cases versus 2 of non-Muslims where that charge was used, and then flipped it over, bomb plots where Muslims weren't charged as holding a weapon of mass destruction. It's literally the opposite. It's 2 and 7 and 7 and 2. So yeah, 2 times they didn't charge a Muslim as holding a weapon of mass destruction, and 2 times that they did charge a non-Muslim for doing it, even in similar cases with similar implements. Again, also finding that 3 out of 4 cases where Muslims had explosives, they weren't real explosives, and the entire case rested around the Obama administration's policy of creating terror attacks that don't really exist in order to thwart them, to much fanfare in the media. Says researchers analyzed coverage of the New York Times and Washington Post from 2002 to 2015, finding that foiled cases of ideologically motivated violence involving Muslim perpetrators received on average 770% more coverage than similar cases involving non-Muslims, while completed acts of violence were covered twice as much. So 1,400% more. Last year, researchers at Georgia State University found that violent attacks involving Muslims received an average of 4.5 times more coverage than those committed by their non-Muslim compatriots. This increased media attention also appeared to be helped along by government efforts to promote awareness of some cases rather than others. Almost like there's an ideological element to all of this. The study also found that the Justice Department was, on average, 6 times. Again, remember, this is under Obama. This is the Obama Justice Department and the George Bush, but most of these attacks that they're weighing happened under Obama. So under the Obama Justice Department, the Justice Department was, how much more likely? 6 times more likely to issue press releases about foiled plots of violence involving Muslims than they were involving non-Muslims. Reporters often use these releases in their news stories following such incidents, using a summary of the government's allegations and taking note of the harm that foiled plots could potentially have caused.
Now let's roll back on exactly what that means. You see, when news sources have like a pre-canned thing written that makes it easier for them to cover a thing, they're more likely to do it. So a large amount of this spike in how much coverage Muslims get for these exact same offenses is because the government releases these press releases in the first place. And to your point, Will, they did it at this same increased clip under Obama.
Yeah.
So government's driving the coverage, and
yeah, do we want press releases from the government about news and what's happening? Because that doesn't seem desirable in the first place.
Right. Says, let's see here. The Department of Homeland Security under Donald Trump has been working to strip funding from groups that work to mitigate far-right violence, while redirecting all counter-terror extremism programming to focus exclusively on Muslims. The disparities documented in the report help quantify a level of institutional bias in both the legal system and the media that many have argued exists in cases involving Muslim perpetrators for a long time. The glaring differences in response to very similar acts of violence suggest that systematic biases have warped the way that these institutions are functioning, leading to vastly unequal treatment of individuals based on their personal background, as well as inappropriate or excessive policy responses to perceived threats. At heart, there's a question here of what we as a society deem threatening and what we as a society are afraid of. What you often find is that when a crime is committed by a member of the dominant group in a society, it's excused as an aberration, while crimes committed by members of an outgroup are pathologized toward the group as a whole, says Dahlia Mogahed, the director of research at ISPU. I actually know her. This implicit bias finds its way into all our institutions, including courtrooms and the media. It's a self-perpetuating problem. Until we address it and stop making excuses, it's simply not going to change. That's pretty cut and dried right there, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's pretty cut and dried.
Yeah.
And you've also got new researches that's showing that bigoted election campaigns, not terror attacks, drive terrorist activity. Oh my God. It's like The Intercept all of a sudden is releasing all these things that are like, yeah, we already knew that. Because I'm not high on heroin and like nodding out in a chair 24 hours a day. I pay attention a little bit. All right, well, this is another one in the books, folks. This has been Will, Tom, and Aria here on The Call to Freedom tonight. Come back tomorrow. We're going to have one hell of a libertarian drama-sode for you. Don't go anywhere.
It's Will.
All right. Hint, hint. You know who this week's winner is. But yeah, don't go anywhere, guys. Free Talk Live coming up next.
Free Talk Live.
It's not just zoning rules, it's everything.
It's true.
It's everything.
There's so many
rules.
rules.
Many laws. You can't possibly know them. It's physically an impossibility to know the laws. You know not to